All right, so we got Leo Venus blood test video here, which I just came across because I was just checking in. Sometimes if you got vegan friends in real life, make sure you take a little bit of time. The New Year's here. Just go on ahead and check in on them. Make sure they're doing okay. He posted his blood test video, so we're going to look at them, and it's entertaining. And by the way, this was a vegan doctor, so I'm only expecting the best results. I'm expecting an example. This is a subject matter expert of how to do the vegan diet right. So I'm going to flash up a couple nutrients, and you tell me, what do you think he is deficient in right off the bat?
And I thought I might as well... Oh, you can see my reflection. Look at those vegan gains. Anyways, as I was talking about, I just got my results for my blood test that I did here a couple of months back. I did lots of vitamins, I did testosterone, I did a ton of stuff, and I thought we might as well go over those numbers since I've been vegan 9 years now, soy boy for 9 years. So let's see, am I dying of the famous protein deficiency, or are things going okay?
I mean, vegans are famous for way more deficiencies than just the whole concept of protein. What gets me is that vegans always bring up the fact that people will ask about the protein, and since they don't specifically say the precise nutrient or the precise amino acid that vegans lack, they laugh at the idea of having a protein deficiency. But there are actual vegans out there who are suffering from a lack of amino acids. And I spent maybe 2 hours trying to find this podcast that I listened to back in 2000, and I want to say 16 or 17. And I was listening to Jamie Delaney's podcast, and she was speaking to, I think it was Dr. Neil Bernard, and he talked about how some of the vegans that he has as clients have to take a carnitine amino acid because their energy level goes so low. Dr. Greger, who discusses how incredibly important it is to make sure your creatine levels are right as a vegan because it's lacking in the diet. And if you are not consuming that creatine, how can degrade your brain function?
Okay, so here is the conglomerate, the panel of all the tests that I did. As you can see, most things were within the normal range. It's not worth obsessing too much if one thing is a little bit outside the normal. Let's go really quickly over every single blood test. As you can see here, you got vitamin B1, B2, B3. Everything is normal. The B3 acid version is a little bit below the normal, but I've never heard of this blood test, so I'm assuming it's not too important. Vitamin B5 or pantothenic acid.
I don't get how you can just be like, oh, well, I don't really never really heard of that, so I'm assuming it's just not that important. All right, so you're just going to go on ahead and just excuse that like it just don't matter. Like they just put that on a piece of paper just for shits and giggles. As a healthcare professional, wouldn't you look into whatever that is and try to understand your own career field more? I don't get it.
Folate, everything is in the normal range, but here you see B12. And by the way, this is the stereotypical vegan thing, and I have to apologize to you. I've been vegan 9 years. I'm taking B12 supplements, but this year, apparently, I was not good enough at taking them regularly enough. There have been periods of time where I've been working way too much, been super busy with work, and I have to apologize to you. I've been vegan 9 years.
Oh, apologizing. Apologizing to who? Why are you saying sorry to us? You need to be saying sorry to yourself. Again, you don't need to prove anything to anybody but yourself. This is your life. When you screw you up, you know who has to live with this? You.
Haven't been able to take care of my health routines as much as I usually do. And the result is, as you see, B12 was actually a little bit low.
Why do you have excuses? We don't need excuses. We need results. Your body doesn't want to hear excuses. Your brain function doesn't need to hear excuses. Your nerves don't need your spinal cord. You know, if you're low on B12, your spinal cord will start to rot. And you're over here talking about, I was too busy with work. Maybe I didn't take enough supplements this year. Don't say sorry. Just say, hey, my diet doesn't have any B12 in it, so I have to make sure I take medicine every day in order to stay alive, and don't undergo these chronic health conditions that are in many cases irreversible. You can't work a busy work schedule and manage a vegan lifestyle. Is this supposed to be suitable for all stages of life? What about the work life? this don't look suitable for having a career field that occupies a lot of your time and focus.
But B12 is something you don't want to risk. If there's one point I want everyone to take home from this video is take your B12 supplements, because the consequences of a B12 deficiency are very severe and many times irreversible. We're talking about irreversible nerve damage, not fun, not worth the risk. So take your B12 supplements.
What's with all the cap? I don't get it. You just told us to do something. You're not even doing it. But you got a big bicep though. That's it. But you got the big bicep. Looking like a professional bro scientist and shit.
Moving on then, vitamin C is well within the normal range. No surprise there.
Oh, okay. So we just gonna go ahead and just breeze over the other B12 that's low. This holotranscobalamin. But, you know, I'm sure you never really heard of that one. So it must just not be that important then. So next. I work too much isn't an excuse. We're not taking excuses anymore. We need a standard. No excuses. I don't care. Set an alarm on your clock. Don't forget. First thing in the morning when you brush your teeth, put your little B12 right next to your toothbrush so you can make sure you get it. Because if you don't, you know what's going to happen?
And the only thing one really has to seriously be concerned about on a plant-based diet is getting a regular, reliable source of vitamin B12. Otherwise, you can end up paralyzed, demented, or dead. But serious shit, right?
Right.
How bad? Okay, so there was an article published in the New England Journal of Medicine, the most prestigious medical journal on the planet.
Yeah.
You know what it's called? Blindness in a Vegan. How did that do for the movement? We can't do this. We can't have people screwing it up for everybody else because they're stupid and making us all look bad. Stupid.
Okay, let me tell you something real quick. Obviously, I was a vegan too. I did the same shitty ass diet. Now, this is the problem that I need you to solve right here. I need you to specify which specific type of B12 you're taking, and I need to understand what dose you're taking. Because if you're not taking the exact proper amount, then you're doing it wrong. And depending on which vegan doctor you ask is going to determine on if you're doing it right or wrong, because none of the vegan doctors actually agree with one another. That might be part of your problem. You're not taking the right type of B12. You're taking cyanocobalamin, well, you need to go switch to methylcobalamin. Or you're taking methylcobalamin, well, you need to switch to cyanocobalamin. Or you're taking 600 whatever a day, oh, okay, well, you need to switch to 1,000. So good luck with the crapshoot, bud. I hope you pick the right pills. And don't bother taking any fortified foods, even though Dr. Greger specifically says that it's okay to take fortified food. But when I took it, you know what the vegans said? They said I did it wrong, even though I was following Dr. Greger's advice. And don't worry about any of the other types of B12s. Just focus on methylcobalamin and cyanocobalamin. The other types, just pretend they don't exist, okay?
The vitamin D, as you see here, is a little bit below the optimal range.
Oh, that's real funny. So now we're back at the word optimal, because vegans were discussing with one another about how nobody said it was the optimal diet. But then there was a whole list of other vegans who were saying, this is the optimal diet. This is the best diet that man can eat.
I have never claimed that the science, proves that a vegan diet, 100% vegan diet, is the best for optimal health.
If people don't, go and do things the right way and realize, veganism is the best ethical, most healthiest way to live, then technology is just going to take over.
As far as optimizing your health, I don't think you'd be eating junk food if you wanted optimal health, whatever the hell that even means.
He kind of laughed at me. I left there very confused because I've heard all of my life and I've lived it that the vegan lifestyle, the vegan diet is one of the most healthiest that you can be on. And I truly believe that. And, meat and dairy are just toxic in your system. So
also, we never got an answer as to what a vegan diet is. She just said a vegan diet. Not sure what that is. It's like an anti-child abuse diet.
Just a word people throw around.
Don't know what that means.
Have to get a little bit better at taking the vitamin D supplements. The vitamin A is a little bit low. I had no idea. So this again is one of the good things of taking random blood tests like this. So this is not anything where I'm going like, oh no, this is terrible. I need to eat liver as soon as possible. But instead I think, okay, this is a good reminder to eat more pre-vitamin A containing foods such as carrots, sweet potatoes, pumpkins, butternut squash, oranges, tangerines, apricots, all that kind of stuff.
So then what you been eating? You just listed off a food. You just listed off some foods that you could be or should be eating as a vegan in order to have apparently vitamin A, but you don't have the vitamin A. So what you been eating? So now we have a vegan doctor who's vitamin A deficient, vitamin D deficient, vitamin B12 deficient times 2. Maybe you need to get a little bit better at taking the vitamin of the B, the B12, the D, the A. Get a little bit better at taking a whole lot of them. And in fact, and as a vegan, you can't just eat and enjoy your life. You got to get out a damn Bunsen burner and a beaker and start measuring out your supplements for the day. How damn smart do you have to be a vegan? Because if the vegan doctor's not getting it right, nobody's getting it right.
Next up, we got vitamin E, which again, no surprise, within the normal range, vitamin K1, K2, lutein. We got this type of xanthin, we got lycopene. So yeah, that is pretty much it for my blood results. I didn't really do any of the lipid panel. I didn't do the cholesterol, the LDL, HDL, saturated fat, all that kind of stuff. And that's just because I know it's perfect, even though...
So hold up, how do you know it's perfect? Why? Because you're vegan? And then you guys create a whole brand new standard for yourself and you celebrate being below. So since vegans are coming up on tests, being below the amount, that must be a positive thing. I'm trying to figure out why the vegans aren't getting homocysteine tests. Why not? Because you guys already rank being the highest, categorically the highest dietary group of having high homocysteine. So why aren't you guys getting high homocysteine levels due to having low B12 and low creatine?
Main two things, take your B12 supplements and don't panic if something's outside the normal range. Don't start eating bone broth and liver and thinking that's going to magically solve your problems, all right? Take care, everyone.
The problem is the diet. Stuff on the paperwork is just a symptom of the problem. So quit trying to cure the symptom. This right here did not make me want to be a vegan. This made me happier that I quit because I don't have to sit here faking it, trying to act like I'm happy. Oh, I'm so happy taking 5 different supplements to make sure that I can stay alive as a human being. Science can't determine any type of value system. It can only observe and recreate the natural world. So what vegans do is they use health as a way to try to give science authority over your life and how you should live.
Making deposits, put myself on the market. The blue strips are the target. If it ain't a bag, you can park. Don't get parked. Straight through the darkness, it's a chicken I'm hawking. Having a plentiful harvest. 10 toes, 2 hands, I'm not starving.